Hey, everybody out there, it's me again. Oh, I'm the shake up man. If you need something to shake up, all you gotta do is just call me. Just reach out to my team and they'll get it. They'll get it. They really will get it. Listen, this is Dr. Kit from featured therapist on love and marriage, Huntsville. And that's not all I do. I do this and I do conferences. I do a whole lot of things. So here I am enjoying the shake up. It's one of these things that I do that kind of create some stimulation in people's minds. It's not one of these sedate things. I make you think, and I get good good people to come on, to make you think through also, because I love to get some really good subject matters that's going to make you go through your brain and say, wow, okay, so that's where we're at. So tonight we have a really good subject matter that we're discussing tonight. And I won't spend too much time up front because I want to give this person, all the time that she wants. But listen, let me just tell you this. Listen, there's a rest stop that's coming up, a rest stop conference, Refueling Your Relationship Conference. And that's coming up on September 24th. And that is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. So this is for if you're married, if you're engaged, if you're seriously dating. And listen, even singles can come to this because, the information is good all across the board. So just come on September 24th, Atlanta, Georgia. So just come on up and just spend the day with us. It's going to be a day-long program right now. So come on up and do that with us, okay? And then on July the 30th, we're talking about 5 tips for keeping the sparks alive in your relationship. I'm not going to tell you what they are now because if I do, you won't show up. So I want you to come. And of course, you can see it online on the monitor right now. There's going to be time is going to be 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Sunday, July the 30th. Okay, 5 tips for keeping the spark alive in your relationship. And that is so important. Otherwise, it's going to get frigid, get cold, and it's going to fall apart. Okay, so we just do that. Okay, so here's what you do. You can I want you to like, follow, share, and subscribe. Like, follow, share, and subscribe so that this very important medium of reaching people where they are can grow and grow and grow to other people who don't know that we exist. But we do exist and we are alive and well. Okay. I need to say, listen, we'll put the link in the chat for those 2 up the top that I talked about, the 5 tips, and also for the relationship conference in Atlanta. All right, so just go right ahead and do that. And if you want to be considered for, to be on the show, all I got to do is ask you to get in touch with my team at drkitspeaks@gmail.com. That's drkitspeaks@gmail.com. If you want to know a few other things about me too, just go to drkit@gmail.com. You'll run into my website. You see a whole lot of other things under that I'm doing. But enough of that said. Listen, tonight we have a very important subject matter for you. And once we get started and you realize that this is subject matter that is so important, some of you may even have experienced some of this stuff here, or people who have experienced this stuff here. So stick around. And when I open this thing up, I want everybody to go online and call it and hit 10 people. Tell them everybody to come online. That they need to get in touch with the information that we're talking about here. We're sharing with you here tonight. Okay. So tonight, I have a very special guest. And her name is LaRonda Bryant. And she's going to be, oh, man, here she is. Oh, LaRonda, how are you doing? How are you?
Hi.
Welcome to the Shake Up. Welcome to the Shake Up. You hear? And it's so good to have you on with us tonight. And I know you got a very important subject matter that you're going to be dealing with, delving into tonight. And I know that this is going to um, just shake up some inquisitive minds. So, with that said, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself, what you do, how come you got involved in what it is you're going to be talking about tonight, and then we'll get right into it, okay? And then I'll let you just open it up and just talking, and I'll be right there with you. All right, so just relax and just take it away.
All right, can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right.
Okay, I got a little bit of delay in feedback, so I just want.
Okay, so just hold on with us here. Those of you that are online right now, just hold on. We're gonna fix a little bit of a technical glitch here. You know how it is. We're working with technology, and this thing's got its own mind, if it's got a mind, and it will do whatever it wants to do sometimes. So just hang in there with us. We'll be right back momentarily. But while we're doing that, you know. Um, Let me just tell you that, listen, it's important for some of you, for everybody to be a part of the shakeup. It's not just about any one thing, it's about a whole lot of things. All right, so we're back now. All right, technology got defeated again. Come on,
That's
Lorinda.
right.
All
How
right,
are you? I'm so glad to be
fine.
here.
How are you doing?
Thank you
Oh,
for having me on the show.
you're most welcome. Most welcome. Most welcome. Go right
All
ahead and
right, so
just
I'm
introduce yourself, and just keep moving.
All right, so I am Lorinda Bryant, and I am co-founder of GABBI, which is Girls Against Being Bullied Inc. Founded that with Adrian Hargrove, who is a great person here out in Huntsville, doing some great things for the community and the youth. And just to let you know, what we do is we provide a safe space for girls that are navigating through situations of bullying, just letting them know that life is so much bigger than this moment in time that you're experiencing, creating a space where they can be friends, free of judgment. They could be themselves, have a great time, but also learn and be imparted into at the same time, loved on, and spend time with other girls that are going through similar issues. We also provide assistance and resources to parents that are navigating through this as well. And I thought that that was very important because this was my first time experiencing bullying. And we created the organization based off of just what me and my daughter were going through personally, and just really understanding some of the questions that I had, things that I didn't know. And so we're able to use that information to help other parents too, because you really would be surprised how many mothers and fathers just don't know what to do or how to respond, especially when things begin to escalate.
Listen, one of the things I love what you just said when you said you and your daughter are
That's right.
going through bullying. I think a lot of times people think that just children are the victims of
Right.
bullying. But here's what I like to say. This is the way I
Mhm.
like to say it, that while your child or children may be the victim of bullying, okay, they are the symptom bearers. They're the one who's
Right.
carrying the symptom. And parents like you and grandparents and friends and family, they are the symptom sharers. Why? Because they're so connected that whatever happens to the bearer happens to the sharer, because the bearer and the sharer, they are so connected like this. They are just one and the same in a lot of ways. So can you talk about that aspect of it? Being there, being like me and my daughter, we were bullied. Go ahead.
That's right. So just even that goes to my why.
Okay,
We
go right
started new
ahead.
school this past school year, and my daughter's very friendly, outgoing, never meets a stranger. And so the first day of school, she got in the car, and I was like, "How was your day?" And she broke down crying. And so that first day, I ended up emailing the principal to try to see what we could do, let her know there was an issue. And what I found out was that this was before we even got to the school. These same group of young ladies had been bullying and harassing girls and boys year after year after year. One thing that bullying does is it can cause PTSD, anxiety, low self esteem. We know that kids are thinking about or committing suicide as a result, because of the pressure that is put on them. But what happened was with my daughter, she was getting physically, hit and things that we never been in a fight, just all of those things. So it's stressing me out because I'm getting upset and I'm trying to work through it, as I think a mother should. But one day she was drinking some water. Her face got pushed into the water fountain. And so I was heading up to the school. And this was before the organization was started, and I was just done. And I was like, I'm beating up the mamas, I'm beating up the everybody getting at the kids. And my co-founder said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and turn it into a positive. We're not bailing people out, but we're going to help people, and we're going to use this to help other girls, because
Oh,
this
okay.
issue is bigger than just us. And so I appreciated that. And it was just the heat of the moment. But really, just like I said, doing everything I knew to do to try to, be a proactive parent, but it just was not working, and it just continued. And I felt like, the school wasn't doing anything. And then we talk about the impact on my daughter, her self-esteem. She started kind of having like these lash out moments and this anger issues, things that were pent up, and she was really scared to respond to them because she, like I said, she's never been in a fight, right? She doesn't really know that life. And so it was really hard for her to adjust and understand and navigate. And so creating this organization has helped her and other girls. So some of the things that we've done, we started immediately hosting events, and we've done cake decorating, professional cake decorating. And so what we did was tied into making mistakes. And so when you mess up on your cake, it's easy to do a clean slate and
No, just
start
eat it.
over.
Just eat it.
Yeah, and it's still a
It's-
delicious cake, and it's still a beautiful cake. We've done vision boards, helping them goal set and see themselves, and affirmations. We've done MMA fighting, so we actually got to go in the ring and show
oh,
them just how to get in a situation that's safe, how to call for help, how to subdue somebody that's attacking you. And that's not just for school. What if we send our girls to the bathroom and somebody's in there? So it's things that are life skills that help them, that give them confidence, that motivate them. And we have so much fun doing it.
I appreciate that, but isn't it a shame that in order to avoid kids, young children
Yeah.
like you becoming the victims of bullying,
Yeah.
that they have to, and I, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but they have to resort to, and I shouldn't say resort, but they have to be trained or have information about self-protection. Right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
mean, why do we have to go to the place where we need to get involved in self-protection, as opposed to being a community where we like to embrace each other? Can you kind of just give me some insight on that, please?
Oh, wow. So I just found that it's today's culture. We are
Mhm.
so desensitized.
Right.
We don't have empathy, sympathy for even things as severe as death. Just watching. I can give you an example when the submarine. The victims of the submarine, and they were lost, and there was literally hundreds of posts and memes making fun of the situation where those 5 people died. But I only saw maybe 2 or 3 that said, let's pray for them, or that showed any type of sympathy for their family. So
Mhm.
it's just that we are so desensitized. And unfortunately, it's trickling down to our children. And so when we're so busy, we're not focusing on them, we're not paying attention. And I've been really intentional of trying to make sure that I'm in tune with my children, and trying to understand their emotions, so that I just don't mess them up. That's my like, I just don't want to mess them up. So I've been trying to really do my part and be in tune. But even the young ladies that have been doing the bullying, I've been paying attention to them and what their situations seem to be. And so God has given me a heart for them too. So I'll tell you, I was
Okay.
very upset, and I was just like, I don't want to worry about anybody's kid but mine. I don't want to worry about what anybody's kid is dealing with but my own. But God said they're all your kids. And so you have an opportunity to make an impact and change the trajectory of young girls' lives. and you might be that seed. You might plant that seed that can take them, to the next step or help them in the future. You just never know. And so when I say I didn't want to care about anybody but my own, and God changed that. I also have been given the mandate to help the bullies. So right now, we do things every other month with our girls. And so we're planning it next year that on those off months, we're going to spend time with the girls that are bullying, because there's something happening in their lives too. And we got to get to the root of it, or they grow up to be grown up bullies, right? And
Mm-hmm,
continue
mm-hmm.
to pass this generational thing down, and just to be lost and desensitize people who don't care about others.
Right. But you're hitting on something because bullies, in school, these young kids,
Yeah.
what happens is, you're right, they grow up to be adult bullies.
Yep.
Here is the sad, sad, sad thing about it. They either go to prison sometime, or they die, or they get
Yeah.
killed.
That's right.
Because when they get to be adults, they ain't just pushing somebody's head in a water fountain. They
Yeah.
taking care of business.
That's
And when
right.
and when they do that, you spoke about death a little while ago.
Yeah.
Somebody's house will be short of one person.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it. And it's a soul. Every
Yeah,
all the kids, they're souls, and their souls matter.
yeah,
They
right.
matter.
So I like the idea here, that the twist that you put on it, saying, listen, in order to stop bullying, it's not just a matter of teaching the victims or potential victims how to protect themselves.
Right.
You're right, absolutely right. The best way to avoid bullying is through prevention. The
That's right.
best way to prevent it is to get to those who are the perpetrators.
That's right.
I
That's
think. Hey, listen. I think you got it going on here. But there's something else. How about the parents
yeah.
of these children who are doing the bullying? Because there's, let me tell you this here. My wife, she loves garden. She got a beautiful garden.
Mhm.
She gardens. She just loves the garden. She said she and God has a good time out there in the garden. Her hands and stuff like that. And what I'm saying here is this: that for a couple of years after we built the garden for her, the soil wasn't that great, so the produce wasn't that great either.
Right.
They came and they went. Maybe just came and left overnight. I don't know. They just weren't there in the morning. But then but then we changed the soil.
Mm, that's good.
Same kind of plants that we put in the year before and the year before that. We changed the culture of the soil. And then the end of the story.
That's
The
right.
story is that when you change the soil that the plants are in, you get a different kind of product.
Hmm.
When we change the culture of the home soil, you get a different kind of product in children. And
That's
so that's what I'm talking about. So how do you, if are you headed in that direction, or is there thoughts afoot for that? I mean, how? Because just talk to that. Talk to that.
So actually, again, because of my situation, I've done some research, and
Okay.
one thing that I found was that Governor Kay Ivey has enacted an anti-bullying act, and then unfortunately, we had a young man here that took his life due to bullying a few years ago. And part of that settlement was that the city school board would have to create an anti-bullying policy, something to combat bullying.
Hmm.
And what we found is that a lot of the parents are overwhelmed. We have single mothers, we have overworked mothers and fathers, and families that are, sometimes struggling to get by. And so these are situations where they might need additional support. And so we're looking at ways to be able to provide that. Maybe they need counseling. Maybe they need mentorship, and even for the parents, creating opportunities for them to have support. We actually have an event coming up that I'm gonna be telling you about soon in
Hey, tell
this
it.
conversation, which is the suicide prevention rally. But part of that is going to be at the end. There are going to be organizations in our community that provide all types of resources to families, to the youth, to parents to help support them. Credit building, therapy, prayer partners. Even there's an organization that teaches you if you have firearms in the house, how to properly store those when you have children. So any type of support group that you can think about, those resources will be there so that parents and families and caregivers can connect to them and find the things that maybe they're missing or lacking support in those areas. So that's the hope. But also, we're going to be holding the school's feet to the fire, the school district's feet to the fire. Now, you have this mandate to revamp your anti-bullying policy. And so you need to be connecting to organizations. You need to be showing how you're going to provide that support. And for me, that looks like, excuse me, for me, that looks like repeat offenders. They need to go through some type of program with their parents to help them understand what they're doing, to help them change whatever is happening with their behavior, therapy, exercises, training, and some type of certification at the end to show that they've gone through that, rather than just throwing them over into the school for kids that are misbehaving. And there's nothing over there that's helping them change either. They're just kind of sitting over there. So we're hoping to change what that looks like. And so we're actually working on something to present soon.
Thank you. Amazing. We're gonna have to talk about that before we get off
Yes.
the program. Yeah.
Yes. I have to tell you about our suicide prevention rally. It's going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes. But listen, with this bullying,
Yes.
with this bullying, I'm wondering, is it possible that a part of the reason, and not all the reason, but there are several reasons, many reasons, as there are bullies, there are all kinds of reasons why.
Right.
But I was just thinking that, is it possible that and you talked about parents and they're working and all this kind, and what I'm going to say, I'm just going to say, well, parental unavailability. What that
Yes.
means is parents are not available to their children
Yep.
when their children need them.
Yep.
And if these children feel that their parents are not there, and I'm not saying that they're just out running the streets. I'm saying a lot of times these mothers and fathers, they're out there just grinding it out, trying to make sure that they have a roof over their head, making sure that they have clothes and shoes for their kids, making sure that they can take care of their bills. So these are not derelict people by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want us to think that. But what I'm getting to is this. I'm just wondering if some of these children whose parents are unavailable for a variety of reasons, if they are just taking out their anger
Yeah.
on victims.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's what I'm saying. If they were to get mad at their parents who are already unavailable, it's just going to push the parents further away, which creates more unavailability of
That's right.
parents. You understand what I'm saying? So what
Exactly.
they do, they shift that from their parents to having victims.
Yep.
Now, what do you think about that?
I agree with that, because a lot of times what happens is you're frustrated, you're mad, you're
Yeah.
sad, and then you want to take it out on somebody. And so I think that's why there needs to be something where the parents are having to go through that training and through that class or through whatever it is that the school board has for those repeat offenders, so that the whole family can heal and that the parents can get tools. A lot of things have to do with conflict management, understanding your emotions, how to manage your emotions, things that you can do. And we actually did something like that with our girls because they have stress built up and anxiety and things like that. And so we actually went to Fitness Defied, and she taught them how to relieve stress and pressure and there were 5 different points, and the last one was exercise. And so we did circuit training, we did the aerial pods to relax, we talked about self-care, just all the different things. So I think it goes back to giving them tools and information and resources, and teaching them how to redirect that anger, not towards people, but to understand why you're mad, to understand what's happening, and now what can I do about it? What can I change that's in my control?
And I'm glad you just raised this whole issue about conflict, because when I do talk to people about this whole idea of conflict,
Yeah.
I start out with, there are three things I look at, which is conflict avoidance,
Mm-hmm.
conflict management,
Yep.
conflict resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those three things, if you can avoid it, then try, if that's a problem, then you try to manage it. And then you have to try to figure out a way to resolve it. I
That's
think
right.
sometimes we go directly to conflict resolution, but we miss the first two steps.
That's right. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to flee the scene if it's overwhelming or if you're
Yeah.
in over your head. And that's one thing we teach too. Yes, it's
Yeah,
okay.
it is okay. And listen, you're talking about the family component. You know how it is. If somebody get a, if a child get a, or somebody get a ticket for whatever it is,
Yeah.
or they get stopped, they get pulled over, and sometimes they get pulled over and they got to go to court,
Yeah.
and they are mandated by the judge to go
That's
through
right.
some specific type of training. So when you
That's
have
right.
these 7, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds who are doing the bullying, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
think I think we might want to consider holding those parents responsible and put
Yes.
them through
Yep.
those kinds of training.
That's right.
You know, because if we don't put them through, then they're going to have to suffer some real consequence, because we
Yeah.
just cannot have this bullying just running wild and rampant.
Mm,
Because what happens here is, and you're right, you hit it a little while ago, how these young kids, if they are afraid of going to school but got to go to school,
yeah.
okay, their productivity level will drop. Why?
It
Because
does.
their fear factors will climb. And while
Yeah.
they are fearful, looking around, wondering, okay, and some bullying may even be, you smart, you better do the work and let me get the answers over here.
Mhm.
There are all kinds of bullying that these
Yeah.
kids that these kids go through,
Yeah.
and if they don't provide the answer to the bullies, then that's it. And so I'm going to push it just a little bit more.
Mhm.
So sometimes this bullying, like, and I want you to see if you can make a contact between all this last thing I'm going to say right now. Sometimes some of this bullying may even extend to uh, bullying animals, you know what I'm saying?
I
They
do.
go home and they do things to their little pooches and their little cats and their little
Yeah.
whatever it is, and they take their anger out on them, because that anger is so pent up in the house. So the dog is wagging his tail like this, coming, and the dog get a boot.
Yep.
And now the dog's going to run in the corner, and so now we have a dog now, or a cat, anything, who has this fear, and so they start doing things all over the house.
Yep. And what you said too, when I think about that,
Mhm.
I don't have much experience with that, but what I do think about is the beginnings of abusers, growing up to be somebody that abuses, your spouse or your maid or family. And even my experience with movies, of course, I'm going to go back to that, but that's some serial killer stuff right there. When you start hurting and killing animals, that's a gateway to something else. So we definitely have to make sure that they understand how to manage those emotions and that anger. And so that's a great reason why I partnered with Adrian, because he teaches anger management. He works with troubled youth. And so he brings that component in, while I bring in more of the nurturing component, the resources, even with parents. Like I said, just not even knowing what to expect, with bullying, what to do, how to move. And so we create things like spreadsheets, right, to teach you how to track every incident and the dates and the names and the witnesses and the outcome and the follow-up.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so we keep all of that because we've had to go to an attorney, and we've taken it up to the level of the state board of education. And so everybody was just kind of like, we can't do much, it's elementary, we have more leeway in middle school to do these things. And so I was just like, not acceptable. My child is already changing personality wise. Things are happening with her now, so we can't afford to wait fifth fifth grade too, and then you can't do anything to the sixth grade. Y'all got to do something else. And so when I started talking about attorneys and sending my files, I don't mind sharing my files. Here's everything that's happened. I've been getting callbacks, and now we working together. So sometimes parents need to understand that. And when I talk to them, I hear, well, yeah, I talked to this one and that one. Do you have it documented? Do you have the dates? Do you have the time? Do you have, everybody that witnessed that event every single time? Even when it's not including my daughter, if it involves the bullies, I document it anytime I hear of anything. And so we got to the point where the principal was calling me, hey, just checking in, everything good? Yes. So you just gotta kind of take your power back in these situations. You gotta take your power back and know your rights, and know some of the bills and the things, the acts that the legislation, the regulations that govern your situation. And a lot of times when I send an email, I cite specific paragraphs, I cite specific clauses when I'm sending emails, so that that I know, what you're supposed to be doing. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think taking it to that level, it brings a different level of being very serious when you're
Yes.
saying, well, listen, I can cite this thing. I'm not a dummy. I'm not an
Yeah.
unknown in this area. So now they're going to take you real
Yeah.
serious.
Absolutely.
They're going to take you serious. But these young children, like your daughter and others who gets bullied and so on. If we don't do something about it, you know,
Yeah.
we are we are limiting the number of doctors,
That's
lawyers,
right.
preachers,
Hmm.
teachers,
That's right.
oceanographers, um, you know, scientists. We're limiting those because their capacity to learn under arduous time, stress like that, it's
Yeah.
hard, and so they're more busy thinking about themselves. And then you and I miss
Yeah.
having our young black and brown kids, doing some amazing things, which they have the ability and the capacity to do, but the fear, because
Yeah.
those who are bullying, it doesn't mean that they can't do those things, but
Yeah.
maybe they've never been validated or supported to do those things.
That's
So I
true.
love what you're doing when you're saying, listen, the way to do this, the way to cut this thing out is not to just spank the hands and say, don't do this, don't do it.
Right.
Help them to say, and here's a question. See, this is a question I love. What is it about me that's making me wanting to do this to an
That's right.
innocent cohort, an innocent schoolmate? What is it about me? And there is something about me, and this is what we need to tap into. So some of these kids who are doing these things, they have some great imagination. They can really put some good info out there, and I
Yeah.
think you're right. We need to tap into those people.
Yep.
We need to
Absolutely.
tap into those young people. So, are you able to just kind of let us pull the curtain back a little bit and say, what, just talk about you and your daughter for a little bit, that was born, because that's kind of a sacred to you. It's you remember now. I said your daughter is the symptom bearer. She's the one, but you share this. And it's because you're such a great symptom sharer why you have now become an advocate for others who don't know how to advocate for their children. Yeah. So it's just wonderful. Can you shed a little bit more light on that for us, please?
I definitely can. Like I said, I had noticed some changes in her behavior.
Okay.
We never really dealt with, which I know some of this stuff is age, right? We never really dealt with sassiness and frustration and anger. And so a lot of times, even now, we still kind of have some little moments where there's like this lashing out when it's built up, and she might yell at somebody or do something like that. And so I'm still holding her accountable too for her actions. Like, just because you're upset, like I said, conflict resolution, figure it out, find a solution. I'm still holding her accountable. I spend more time with her one on one because she does have a sister and a brother that are younger than her. And so, again, like I said, we can get so busy with work and feeding and cooking and cleaning and just all of these things that we forget to spend one on one time. And so I make sure that even if we just go have an ice cream cone or just go to the mall and we talk more and I ask her how she feels and what's going on, and we're actively seeking counseling for her just to make sure that she's okay, but also making her and some of the girls. So this is what we do too. And I'm gonna talk about all the girls, but this ties into her. When we've had about a year's worth of events now, and so our girls that have been constantly coming, they really understand what we stand for, what we expect. And so as we move into the next year, they're going to be more on the forefront. They're going to be opening up some of our sessions. They're going to be doing some of the leading of the sessions. They're going to be reaching out to some of the girls that are joining. And every time we have new girls come, all the girls are required to go and welcome her and make her feel comfortable. Somebody needs to exchange phone numbers and make sure you're reaching out. And so that goes not just to her, but to all the girls. There's a higher level of responsibility and expectation. Once you begin to be poured into, you have to now be the pourer and you have to help. And so, one thing that I did see that happened, not all negative. One of the main girls that was bullying her, towards the end of the year, we did kind of find out some of her situation, and it is a very just a sad situation. And so I reached out to the principal and I said, hey, how about you reach out to her parents and see if we can connect over the summer, and maybe the girls can hang out and maybe we can be a positive influence so that next year that might help her have a better year. And so my daughter was like, hey, you want to hang out? And she was like, really? And she was like, yeah. And so I'm even seeing my daughter being not just the angry part, right? But to the empathy part, the forgiving part, the understanding that people are going through things too. And so you can still open your heart with boundaries. So she's understanding the boundaries, like you don't let anybody mistreat you. If you want to be my friend and hang out, these are the requirements. You don't get to bully me. You don't get to put your hands on me. You don't get to talk to me any kind of way. And we can hang out and get to know each other. And that changed her, the young lady that was bullying her, that changed her heart too. And she apologized to my daughter. And I just felt like she needed that too. So it's still an opportunity for my daughter to grow and mature in that area too. We just don't like the bad side of things,
Right.
so I'm still dealing with the sassiness, but we can work through that.
The sassiness, you can just reframe that and say, when this sassiness grows up to be
Right.
21, 25, and 30, she may be one of the greatest orators of all
That's
time.
right.
So,
That's
so you
right.
really you don't want to cap that. You want to just redirect it, right?
That's
You
right.
sort of put it but it's like when you take an old photograph, you put it in a new frame. All of a sudden,
Right.
it looks great.
That's
Looks great.
it.
You didn't change nothing. Nothing structurally, okay? you know, here's a thing I say. Is there such a thing as indirect bullying? If there is, how can a person recognize it? That's a great question. Indirect bullying. And I thank you for that question there.
Mhm.
Indirect bullying, and it's going to tap into something that I was going to ask you to see if we can tie this in, which is stealing things or taking things from another child
Yeah.
an act of bullying. So that might be an indirect, not fist to fist and all this kind of stuff,
Right.
but how would you be able to tie that in? Because if they're stealing things from kids, that's bullying. Yeah, it got to be bullying as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So one thing that happened as a result of everything we went through, I became more visible in the school. And so when there was like duty free lunch, field trips, I'm on every field trip. So I'm there. And I've had the opportunity to observe the dynamics of the classroom, the bullies, the ones being bullied. And so I do think taking things, because sometimes they would walk up to some of the girls and just snatch, right? Just give it
Right.
here. There was a situation my daughter was telling me about. They were sitting at the lunch table and there's a really sweet girl sitting with them, and one of the bullies walked up and was like, "Move." And I was like, "What happened?" She was like, "She got up and moved." And I was like, nobody said anything. So there is that kind of taking forcefully. And then even with that indirect, sometimes it's disguised as jokes and
Yeah,
fun,
yeah,
you know, something
yeah,
funny at the
yeah.
expense of somebody. And so again, you know, teaching them to say, hey, that's not funny. It's okay to tell people that it's not okay. You know, what they're doing to you or saying to you is
Mhm.
not okay. And that's what I've been stressing with my kids. It's not okay. And if you want to be my friend, you will not yell at me. You will not treat me this way. And so they've been trying. Even my 6 year old, she's going to first grade, and she would come home like, "Hey, mama, you know somebody was mean to me, and I told them." And I was like, "That's right. That's what you do. It's okay to have standards. It's okay.
It's okay. It's
That's
okay.
right."
Listen to y'all out there. My guest, I have this super guest on today. Her name is Lorinda Bryant, and she is just so full of information on a very sensitive but important subject matter, and that is bullying. She has given us so much information. Listen, I want you all out there to just take a break from listening for a second, and you just hit 10 people. If y'all hit 10 people, we got a whole bunch of people. Why? Because tomorrow, forget about tomorrow. Today, today, wherever kids are with other kids, you know there's some bullying going on, right?
Yeah.
And then school, you know, they may be out now, but school getting started. Oh man, some
Yeah.
bullying is going to be going on, especially those who went up a grade and they think that they're king of the hill now. Oh yeah. So I think it's very important. So everybody out there, please tap somebody and tell them to just tune in. We're talking about bullying in school, and as a matter of fact, you know, and this is it, Girls Against Being Bullied Inc. You know, GABBI. You know, and I'm going to get my guests to speak a little bit more about that. Just as I'm done gabbing around this stuff, I want you to come right back and talk about that because. And then you said that there's a rally or something that's going
Mhm.
to be coming up and
Yes.
churches and schools and all
Yes.
this kind of stuff and community agencies going to come together. And guess what? I'm going to be upset if you
You
don't
gonna
invite
be there?
me.
You are invited. You are invited. We want to see you in the building.
Yes, I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it. Go ahead and talk and to share that info with the people. Okay.
Okay, so well, it's part of, you know, I said I did a lot of research just trying to figure things out. And one thing I ran across was so many suicides and deaths related to bullying. And it's just really been tugging on my heart. And so September is Suicide Awareness Month. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold a suicide prevention rally. And there's three parts to the rally. It's going to be amazing. So the Alabama Suicide Prevention and Resources Coalition is coming from Hoover, Alabama, to host us in a QPR course, which is question, persuade, and respond to suicide or the threat of suicide. Not only are they going to teach us, we're all going to get certified. Kids, parents, caregivers,
Whoa.
everybody
Say that again. They're coming from Hoover to do what?
to do a QPR. So think about CPR. This
Yeah.
is a life-saving course. It's QPR, question, prevent, and respond to suicide or the threat of suicide. And it's the Alabama Suicide Prevention and Resources Coalition.
So how long is that going to be in terms of sitting down and going through the info? Because if you're talking about certification, listen. I want to be certified.
That's right. Well, and you come on and you can definitely be certified. So it's usually about an hour and a half. We're going to condense it down to about 40 minutes so that so that we can all get that certification. And then what's going to happen is we're going to break out into workshops. So all of the
Oh.
youth there are going to go to workshops that are age appropriate. So let me just give you an example. We have a young lady that has a candle making company, and she is going to be a junior in high school. And so she's going to work with our kindergartners, and she's going to let them paint candles with glow in the dark paint. And her theme is I am the light. And so every workshop is pouring back into the attendees to show them that they are special, that they are beautiful. We're talking about purpose, I matter. We're doing vision boards. So we have a workshop that's being hosted by a different organization for every age group. Okay. So while they're in that workshop, We're going to stay in the main session, the parents, the caregivers, all of the people, the adults that came, and there's going to be a discussion panel. We're going to have a parent of a surviving parent of a suicide victim. We're going to have a sexual trauma therapist, a family therapist, and substance abuse therapist. Adrian Hargrove will be on that panel again. He's worked with troubled youth, and then we'll have a member from the coalition, and we'll have Q&A for the parents and caregivers, giving tips, information, talking more about suicide, how to recognize signs, whatever questions that we have. So while the kids are in the workshop, that'll be going on. At the end, we rally back together and we go outside to eat, to, have fun, music, but there will be all the organizations that provide services for the community. They will have tents and tables set up. And so families can just go to all the tables and get information and get numbers and set up appointments, do consultations, whatever it is that they need before they leave.
Oh man, that is amazing. And what's the date on that again?
September 17th.
September 17th. Oh my goodness. That is going
And
to be at 103 Abingdon Avenue, Huntsville.
yes,
That's the Boys and Girls Club, right? Is
it
that what
is.
it is?
They are kind enough to let us use their
Okay.
facility. So we appreciate that. And boys are welcome.
Boys are, oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
But I'm going to make sure that I put that in my from 2 to 4, and I'm going to put that in my calendar because I just got to come down and start doing a little bit more of this kind of a community outreach. I
Yes.
do some now, but man, there's room for for a whole lot
Yep.
more. So I'm hoping that you're going to have this. You're going to be putting it out there like the
Yes.
churches.
Yes, we've
And
been youth groups, everybody. We want everybody to come. There's registration and we do have a maximum capacity. So we want to make sure everybody can get registered. And next year will be even bigger, so we'll do it, even bigger. But this year we are stopping at about 250 to 300 youth being registered just because of the workshops, and making sure that we have enough material and supplies for those companies and organizations that are sponsoring the workshops. Food, everything is free. We just want people to come
did you say
and
free food? You said you
free
did say
food,
you
free
know I'm
food.
coming, right?
Free food. So we just want everybody to come and enjoy themselves. And if you're interested in sponsoring, we do have a small operating budget, and everything will be towards the supplies, the food, different things like that. So if you have opportunity to sponsor, or if you're interested in sponsoring, we would love to hear from you. We are at GABBI, GABBI, on Facebook, Girls Against Being Bullied Inc. And then my email is lorinda33@gmail.com.
Oh man, listen, y'all out there. You just need to go ahead and do a sponsorship donation for this,
Yes,
because you never know which child you are saving from being bullied, or
that's
a
right.
child you're saving from being the bully.
That's
We
right.
never know. And so the child who's busy bullying, that did you know that child who's busy doing the bullying, they can grow up to be some really great protectors of
That's
children
right.
who are vulnerable. You understand what I'm saying? Then, so
That's
we
right.
want to tap into that, and again, reframe that energy that they're having, using in a negative way, to point that, turn that around, and make it become something very positive. So now they can still feel like they are having some human interaction, but in a very positive, very, very positive way. Oh man, Gabby, Girls Against Bullying, Inc. This is really, really good. Listen, I really do thank you for coming on. I really
Thank
do
you so much.
thank you for being. But listen, I don't want to have the last word on this. I want you to have the last word, and just tell us something that we really need to know, or just reiterate something that you said before that we all need to hear and understand, because this is no joke.
That's right. That's
This is
right.
no
Well,
joke. But let me say, listen. If y'all got a question out there, please drop it in and
yes,
send it to the team. you know, Dr. Kid Speaks at gmail.com. And the team will put it up here because, you know, this young lady here, she's it. And we don't want to let her
Yeah.
off cheap.
I'll tell you one thing
Mm,
that comes to mind. So when Gabby was a little younger, we had some issues at a daycare with
okay.
the way the teachers were treating the kids, right?
Yeah.
And Gabby happened to be one of the kids that were mistreated, and I was so angry at the parents because they said, "Well, I knew, but it wasn't my child, so I didn't say anything." And I was like,
Oh,
"But all of them are our children. They're all our children." And so what happened with this bullying situation, God brought my words back to me. He made me remember when I said they're all our children. And a lot of times we only care about the things that are at our own front door. And so, it's easy to say, well, I don't have kids or my kids are grown or, my kids are going through that. But once we're showing concern and love for all the children and we think of them all as ours, then the world could be a better place. It will be a better place. And so sometimes that change starts with us. So I had to eat my words and I had to step up to the plate and care about all the children, the bullies, the ones that are being bullied that are not mine, the ones who's having issues that don't impact me at all. Just showing love. That's it.
you know, and I think, you know, also, and I'm so glad that you're extending this to the adults, you know, because
Yes.
some people, some mothers and fathers are not happy that their child are bullying other children. So we shouldn't sit by and think, well, you know, these are our derelict parents that don't care. You know, again, earlier on, you said, well, listen, you know, so some of these people are working hard, and if they don't work
Yes.
hard, then, you know, something's going to happen in that child care protective service that I won't call their names. They're going to move
That's
in and try to
right.
take their kids away, you know. And so they're
That's
saying we're going to
right.
make sure we do it, but at the cost of something. Everything comes with a cost.
Thank
And
you.
so this your GABBI organization can really provide information once a month. With just chat and chew, whatever you want to do, you know, for some
Yep.
of these
Yep.
parents who could use this, you know, could use this service.
Yeah.
I think you got something going on really, really well, very
Yes,
well.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of times uh it's easy to say, you should, parent better, right? It's easy to point that finger and
Yeah,
judge, but
yeah,
sometimes again they're overwhelmed and they don't really know what to do. I don't know what to do as a parent of the child being bullied. And I find that a lot of parents do not know what to do or how to approach it. And so sometimes
yeah,
they just call and I make a connection. Maybe that's all I need to do. I don't have to be up in everybody's business. Maybe I just give them a phone number and make an introduction so that they can move forward with the next step of things. I had a young mother who was in the hospital and her daughter got hit in the back with a laptop. And so I stepped in and I sent the email and I CC her, but I just kind of stepped in on her behalf because she couldn't deal with the situation at the time. And then when she was able to, I was able to step back out of the situation. So just being an advocate, being a help to one another, filling in, again, we're all parents. I say I'm a stunt double mom. Sometimes I just jump in when I need to and jump back out. But just making sure that we have each other's back is so important.
yeah. You know, it just came to me that, you know, one of the ways to kind of make a shift in the lifestyle of the bully, it will be say, listen, if you know the parent, why don't you and your daughter and me and my daughter go out and sit down and have ice cream?
Yep.
So now the bully and the victim are beginning to carve out a brand new kind of relationship. So
Hmm.
now, because of this, the bully will now begin to protect this
Yes.
little child, right? Because both mamas went out and had ice cream. You all just kind of sat down and just taught some girl talk and did some stuff and walked the mall or do something like that. Just anything that can be innovative, to
Yeah.
stop this, to kind of change the trajectory of these children, because I'm pretty positive that they don't want to do this, but it's what they do in order to satisfy something about themselves.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
we just need to give them another way to look at that.
And I love what you said, just even the hanging out. So that's what we, I said we wanted to try to connect with one of the girls, right? But
Yeah.
even that builds such a rapport that now the young lady that used to be bullied, if that other girl is doing something, she could say, "Hey, that's not okay. Let's
Right.
think about that." So she's confident enough, and they have built a rapport or a relationship to where she can kind of talk her off the ledge or correct her
Right.
as a
Yeah.
friend,
Yeah.
and she feels confident in her voice to speak up for the right thing.
Yeah. So now we have two mamas and we have two little girls just
Yep,
walking down, just going through, and the mamas are getting to be friends, and they're saying, "Whoa, okay, your mom and my mom, we like each other. Can we like each other?" However they say it, whatever they say. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Whatever it's going to take to make it happen, I think we just need to put some innovative ideas inside
Yeah,
of this thing here and make it happen. Step off the beaten path and just do some different things. This is not thinking outside the box, by the way.
right.
It's not. It's expanding the box. You get more in the box if you expand it, right?
Right.
So all these great ideas, if you expand the box, we should stop talking about thinking outside the box. If it's outside the box, it's going all over.
That's right.
But then when you expand the box, you can get so much more ideas and
Yes.
so many more things. And I think, hey, everybody out there, expand your box. so so just thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
so so much. Okay, I thank you so much, Lorinda, for being on here. Seeing you provide a lot of really good information. So once more, before you leave, just tell them how to contact you. Okay, just tell them how to contact you,
Yeah.
and then okay,
Okay, so
okay.
I am again Lorinda Bryant with GABBI, Girls Against Being Bullied Inc. And you can find us on Facebook under GABBI, just like it's spelled on the flyer, GABBI, Girls Against Being Bullied. We are on Facebook. You can connect with us. You can message us there. Also, I'm Lorinda Anderson Bryant on Facebook, so feel free to DM me if you have any questions. If you are interested in seeing or knowing about ways to sponsor or support us, it's not just money. If you have an organization that pours back into our girls, we would love to come visit you and hang out and even spend some time with you guys. So whatever it is that you offer to the community, we'd love to know you as well and connect with you. That's one great thing. We get to collaborate with other organizations. And so we got some great things planned towards the end of the year for those collaborations as well. But please reach out. I would love to send you some more information. I do have additional information for you to give you further details about what we do in the programs. So just feel free to reach out, Lorinda33@gmail.com.
Amen, amen, amen. Yeah, you doing some church now. Ooh.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Listen, Lorinda, I just want to thank you. The team thanks you for just being such an insightful person and very well educated about what bullying is all about, and for just broadening our perspective tonight and giving us a better understanding, and for having the program that you have planned, and how you are all inclusive, not just for the children that are being bullied, the victim, but also the perpetrators and parents and all of this stuff. We just really, really thank you so much, so much. You've educated a lot of people out there who said, "I wish I knew this before," because some of their children who were being bullied, they were just acting out and just doing all kinds of things. The parents were just throwing their hands in the air. But now you're here.
That's
So I
right.
want to thank you so much. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right.
I
So
see a
thank you
question.
so
Did you
much.
see that question?
Yeah. Can a friend be a bully?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A friend can be a bully. So what kind of a friend is that, Loretta?
Well, I'm serious. You think about elementary and middle school, and that person might be more of a stronger personality. And so I even saw that at my daughter's school in the class, just like I said, looking at the dynamics. And you have some girls that are, I would just say, for lack of better words, like the alpha females, right? And so then
Uh-huh.
you have the girls that are quieter and they just kind of don't want to cause any trouble. And so they say things to them and they do things to them, snatch things, call them names, ugly, stuff like that. And they just kind of cower down or whimper down and they don't say anything. And that's still a form of bullying because at the end of the day, they still are hanging out and saying they're best friends, but that's how they treat their friends. So absolutely.
Yeah, it's a shame because when they do that, they're looking for victims. For
Yeah.
me, it's pretty clear that they don't feel very good on the inside.
Yeah.
So in order for them to feel good, they have to take this kind of a power role
Yep.
and this
Yep.
power role that is taken is to disguise the fact that they are really weak.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So they don't go after people of equal strength or more. They go after those that they think they can, they can control. And
Yep.
that's the way, Lorinda, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
You
Thank you
better
so
get
much.
me out of here because I'll just talk. I'll keep going. We're going.
But more than that, I will be at this your expose
Yes.
down there. Okay, and
Can't
I'm
wait
gonna
to meet you in person.
yeah. I'm just and Adrian, he's a great guy. I know
He
him.
is.
He's out there, in the bushes, fanning fires. He's a really good guy. I think both of you make a really, really good partnership. Good for the city, good for the state, good
Yes.
for the country.
Amen.
All
Thank
right.
you. All
All right.
right.
So thank you so much. Be
Thank
good
you.
until I'll see you down there. Plan to come. Oh, I'll see you down there, but plan to come back
After the event. Okay.
after the event to
Yes.
talk about the success of the events and what happened and your plans for the future. Okay, so we plan to
Absolutely.
have you back after the event. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye, everybody. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. All right. Listen, y'all. This is Dr. Kit, and thank you for being on the Shake Up. Man, she was a tremendous. She had so much information for us, that when I say I'm going to get her back after the event, I'm going to be going down to the event. I'm going to handcuff her and say, listen, you ain't going nowhere. I'm taking you directly to the Shake Up right now. As a matter of fact, I might even ask them if I can get a little corner down there to do a little shake-up while I'm down there. Hey, listen, that might work too. So all things are possible. Listen, thank you so much. Let me share a couple of things with you here, and then I'm going to get out of your way. The Rest Stop, Refueling Your Relationship Conference. This is going to be September 24th and down in the big ATL. We want you to come. If you're married, engaged, seriously dating, and we're also saying, listen, just because you're not in one of those levels of relationship, but one of the things too, you want to come and hear how you can have a good relationship with yourself so that you can be better prepared to have a relationship with somebody else. So, this is good for you too. All right. And then there are five tips for keeping the spark alive in your relationship. 5 tips. Okay. And, I'm going to just give you the letter for the first one. It's called P. Now, if you want to know what P is all about, come on. And that's going to be on July 30th at 5 p.m. I'll give it to you then. I'll give you everything then. But that's just a teaser for you to come on in and see that. Okay. And so what I'd like you to do, and I thank you for being here with me, so like, follow, share, and subscribe. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. Listen, we get good quality people to come on the show. They have great information for you that they share. And so it's very important that you come, that you like it, follow, share, and subscribe so that we can continue to reach a wider and wider audience, sharing information that is absolutely necessary. And when we can do that, this world will be a better place. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that I'm a contributor to making this world a better place. Thank you so much for being a part of the Shake Up with Dr. Kit and our guest tonight. So thank you, Lorinda Bryant. Thank you for being on, and thank you all for watching. All right, thank you much. Be good. Until the next time, have a good evening. Bye-bye.